Alright, hey guys, it's me again, and this is going to be a quick guide on the Granum Void, which is a pocket dimension inside the Golden Hands, and this is where you're going to get Protea parts as well as most of the weapons in this update. Now before you attempt any of these, I'd highly recommend you complete the Deadlock Protocol quest first so you can get the xoris, as that's going to be needed for some of the mechanics in the Granum Void. Now to enter the Granum Void you need coins, and these coins drop from treasurers which spawn around 3 to 4 minutes in any mission on the Remaster Corpus tile set, or if you've completed a Granum Void before he spawned in, he'll almost always spawn immediately after you completed that. Now he has a very large damage reduction, so it takes a while to take him down, so I'd recommend you just brute force him down with mesa, and if you don't kill him fast enough, he's gonna leave. But when you do kill him, he always drops a coin. Now there are 3 different coins, and the coin you get depends on the mission level. So for tier 1 coins, I'd recommend you farm the Sergeant boss. For tier 2 coins, I personally did Triton on Neptune, but I'd recommend the Sabotage on Jupiter instead, as the rescue target will follow you into the Granum Void, so that's kind of annoying. And for tier 3 coins, do Hydra on Pluto. Now if you do decide to go into the portal, it only stays open for 30 seconds or so. You can only activate it once per mission, and it only opens on the golden hand that the coin was used on. So if some asshole decides to go into the portal solo and not mark it, you're not getting rewards. There are other things you can spend your coins on in the new tile set, but only the golden hand will get you access to the Granum Void. So if you don't find any golden hands on the tile set, but you find a captive instead, that's not going to get you access to the Granum Void. Also keep in mind that there are rotations, but what it boils down to is hit C rotation, aka the kill target, or you get nothing of value. Now going past the kill target does not grant you any additional rewards, nor does it give you any better chance. And you get 3 rewards per completion, not just 1. So just doing 1 tier 1 and 1 tier 2 will probably get you all the rewards in those tiers anyways. To get rewards from the Granum Void, all you need to do is kill specters within the time limit. However, you can extend the time by picking up these pyramids that are dropped by the specters when they die, which gives you a few seconds on your timer, or by rescuing members of Solaris United, which adds a lot of time, say 20 seconds or so. Now specters are basically Corpus Vomilis, but you don't actually need to use your amp on them, thank God. And the specters also have a huge damage reduction. I want to say it's around 99%. However, if you're in a group, that restriction only applies to the hosts. So everyone else gets their normal uncapped damage for the most part. The best way to complete this is to either cheese it with mesa or spam the xoris heavy attack over and over again. If you're in a group, there's literally no reason not to use mesa, but if you're doing it solo, nothing is better than xoris spam. And this is because the solo version is significantly harder than the co-op version. For example, if the game thinks you're getting too many kills with your abilities, well fuck you, now the enemies are going to spawn around level 500. On top of that, assassins like the Stalker can show up inside of the Granum Void, whereas in a group, the enemy level never gets higher than 50. However, if you use the xoris' heavy attack, it insta-kills the specters regardless of their level. So solo mode isn't impossible, but I'd still recommend you do it in a group, even after they made it so the amount of kills you have to get scales with the amount of people in the void. So for the most part, just don't do it solo. The only time I'd actually recommend you do this solo is if you have bad internet, or if you're one of those people that allows downloads during gameplay. And I'm saying this because lag completely breaks this game mode to the point where it's almost unplayable. For example, rescue targets will only give you 3 seconds instead of the normal 20 seconds of time if your ping is 200 or higher. Now that said, here's the build I'd recommend for both solo and group play. So for mesa, I'm just running a tank build for the most part, and what I'm doing is I'm building heavily into Ration so I can keep Shadow Shield up, but for the most part, you're going to be using Peacemaker, so if you're just going to be using only Peacemaker, I'd recommend something like this instead, though Mesa's Waltz is optional. But if you're going to use Mesa's Waltz, I'd recommend you use it with Arcane Agility so you can get much further rolls. But if you're not going to use Mesa's Waltz, I'd probably recommend Preparation so you can just spawn with full energy. That paired with Prime Flow is really nice. But if you're going to be doing this solo, you're going to need a tank build because of how out of control the enemy scaling can get. So that's why I'm using this. Speaking of solo, my secondary choice to dual wield with my xoris is the Kuva Nucor. And I just have, for the most part, a hybrid build, but instead of using Augur Pact here, I'm using Electricity because of the way I want my proc weightings. But to be honest, you can kind of just do whatever because like the enemies are weak to corrosive and gas in the Granum Void, but that doesn't really matter if your damage is going to be reduced and they don't really take status, even though it says they do. I want to say on anything but the xoris, they also have a health gate too, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The xoris In case it's been a while since you used a glaive, glaive's heavy attacks work completely differently from other weapons, meaning you have to hit the heavy attack button twice, once to throw it and then another time to detonate it mid-air. But while it's in mid-air, it can't hit anything and it can't return to you. Otherwise, you won't be able to do a heavy attack, which is kind of annoying. And I don't even think the damage mods I have here even do anything as far as specters go. But for the most part, what I recommend is Prime Fury decreases the charge speed. Then I have quick return to reduce the bounces, but I don't think this is a good mod. I'm not sure if you even need this like you do on most glaives. I had Whirlwind here previously, and that was actually terrible because the glaive went out and came back really, really quickly to the point where it was just hard to do heavy attacks in critical moments, especially with the enemies just trying to get up in your face. And since you can't hit anything on the way to activate a heavy attack, right? I'm not sure this is going to be great because you want more airtime, not less airtime. So you have an easier chance to detonate it to get that insta-kill off. I also have Power Throw to say if I do hit something, which is probably going to happen, it's going to hit multiple enemies and not just one and come back. But yeah, that's really all you need. Now for my regular primes, this is what I'm using. I'm using a hybrid build because it's cheap. You can go with your crit build or whatever builds you already have there for the most part. But this is just what I personally use. Yeah, anyway guys, that's all from me. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.